Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kay and I make videos about working in my Happy Planner as well as budgeting videos, and I have a different budgeting planner. And yeah, I make a lot of videos around all of that, life in general, and welcome. So per my usual, it is very early. Cheers. You want to encourage me to drink this coffee as I film so I become more like a human. Yeah, this time change has really got me messed up. So anyway, I'm going to work through today and hopefully I'll get home so exhausted tonight I'll adapt to the time change. Okay, so I have a confession straight out of the gate. First of all, I'll take a drink. Cheers. I wasn't going to film this. I wasn't going to film it for a couple of reasons. The first one is I don't feel like I spent a lot of time in my Happy Planner this past week. Oh, by the way, today's November 4th. I'm going to be reviewing the 28th to yesterday. That's the first thing. So I'm not really satisfied with what I've been able to make note of in here. Generally, I like to capture a lot of personal thoughts, stuff that's coming up for me. Even if it's just a saying, just something I woke up humming or something, I like to capture this. And I just had a really crazy week. And maybe that's accurate, but I'm not quite for sure if that's what prevented me from wanting to share this today. What it really is we had to transition months, and when I set up the Friday, Saturday, Sunday in November, I hated it. I hated it right away, and I looked for like extra pages, and I didn't have any that could go, because if I I'll show you when I get there. If I redid it, I would have had to somehow replace this, or I don't know. For some reason, I couldn't figure it out. It was too much, took too much intellectual power. So I just said, no, just, this is all about radical acceptance and stop being such a perfectionist. And not that my work is perfect, but I have to hold it to a certain standard for myself. But it's just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What's the big deal? And tried to talk myself into use. And I hated it. I hated it when I flipped this page. I hate it now when I'm going to go back and review it. I don't know. It just really rubs me wrong. So anyway, I'm going to go over it and I'm going to just draw a veil between me and it. I'm never going to look back to it again. So let's get going here. How did I do in my to-do list? You can see it's not as filled out as it normally is. I did not get my prescription. I have shared here on my channel before. I've been on a weight loss journey since October well, no, that's not true. Been on a financial journey since October. I think I started Zepbound in December. I'm going to pull out my weight page. I have to do it very carefully here because I should have thought to do that. You know what? Let me stop the camera. Let me get my weight loss page and I'll be right back. I started Zepbound in December. Okay, so late December of 2023. And so this is my year's weight loss on Zepbound. I set the initial goal. I wanted to lose 172 pounds. Yeah, heard that accurately. 172 pounds. That's a heck of a lot of weight. But as you can see, I've been doing a great job all the way up to here's November. I have 78 more pounds that I would like to lose. So what does that bring me to today? Right here, pick up prescription. You can see it's not checked. I've been off Zepbound for going on a week now because they do not have my prescription. It's been kind of like the difficulty with being on Zepbound is many times during my journey I've had to go off it because they didn't have the medication, and so I'm now in holding again. When I go off, I feel the consequences of that almost immediately. I'll start craving all kinds of things. So yeah, I didn't pick up my prescription. I haven't yet shared my 2025 setup with you. I have not yet made my hair appointment. I didn't prep my November cards yet, and I didn't set up my printer. Actually, I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to give that to my mom. And yeah, so it was a short to-do list for me. I do love to make a list. It helps with my focus and helps keep me, it reminds me each day of what I want to do. What I do with this list is I often will make a little sticky note or something, put it in my car, just reminding me of phone calls or things like that that I need to make to get something going. So I kind of on the front end of the week just told myself, hey, get yourself in the right headspace for a pretty intense work week. And it was. Of course, I have my me project going here of a new word, as well as recognizing a strength of mine. And that continues to be really hard for me. I just don't think of myself in that way. My health, I feel like I did such a great job. I think this is the most dots we've seen on my health chart for weeks. So really happy with that. I did end up, remember a few weeks ago, I ended up ordering the water for work, and that's made all the difference for me throughout my day. I was able to pack my lunch a couple of days. I did good on my vitamins and eating nourishing food. This I paid extra special attention to because I was off Zepbound, and that just Friday, Saturday, yesterday. Oh, if you knew what I ate yesterday. Oh my gosh, guys. I was craving French fries because, hello, I'm not on Zepbound, and I made homemade French fries. They were so good. I have this little gnat in here, and it keeps wanting to fly into my precious. Cheers. Okay, sleep. So because of some late nights, I had some late sleep in mornings. 4 a.m. is pretty darn good for me. I did have a couple of mornings where I dipped down to 3, 3:30, generally between 3:30, and 4. So I'll take that. My gratitude list was some new ribbon that I received. Having the internet, that's because I've been really struggling with my Wi-Fi connection here at the house. So I like when I have a good connection. My little office heater, I had to use that this past week here because it was getting chilly in the morning. My coffee pot, of course, my lifeline. Our new duck house, it's absolutely adorable. My husband made it look like a little hobbit house. So cute. My gold pin, and then Advil. Yeah, me and Advil. So I'm continuing to do that 15 minutes of home care each morning, at least trying, because it gives me, I've shared before with my video, I love to take care of my home. And when I'm too busy with work and other things and I can't tend to my home, it really makes me unhappy. I just love it. I love baking. I love cleaning. I love organizing. I guess you can call me old-fashioned. I just love tending to my home. I love tending to my family. So I know on busy days I don't get to do that. So I'm really mindful of making sure I do put in that time for home care, because it gives me a sense of connection to my home, to my womanhood, to what feels important to me. So I've been continuing to set aside time each morning to do that. Work's been pretty intense. Just as a reminder, when you see my work times, those are actually times I'm away from the house. I always work for a couple of hours before I get home or before I leave for work. And then a couple of nights this week, I had to, once I got home, also do some work. And generally what that entails most often is our phone calls. I receive a lot of phone calls. On Friday, just to give you examples, sorry, I was having to wipe my nose instead of stopping the camera to blow it. Yeah, sometimes I get phone calls as early as 5:30 in the morning. Everybody just knows I'm awake, so they start calling from work. So, yeah, so my week was pretty intense. I was away from the house for pretty long hours up until Friday. Let's see what else we have going on here. We had our first rain for the winter. It was pretty light. Over here, I was really happy because I started to do my 2025 financial planning. That always makes me happy. I was doing a reminder to myself of radical acceptance. The more I'm just able to accept what is and move on, go forward, the happier I am. So for me, sometimes it's just, hey, just if this happened to be just about work, just hey, accept this. And I happened to be plagued last week with phone calls, like really intense phone calls. I was getting on a phone call, getting another phone call, and having to tell them, I'll call you right back, and it's 6 o'clock at night. This was really funny. On Wednesday, the goats escaped. My husband's never raised goats before. Now I have. I had them for many, many years. So I don't panic about stuff like this. He does. And I laughed about it for days. In fact, I woke up Saturday morning laughing about this. The vision of him chasing goats was so funny. I just had to walk outside and just say, honey, never chase a running animal. And I went and got the jar of their cookies that they get when we're doing training. And I went and stood in their pen. And sure enough, you see them all running to me for a cookie inside the pen. It was a good lesson for hubby, but it was so funny seeing him chase them around the yard. Oh my gosh. I want to draw a picture. I'm a horrible artist, but I want to draw a picture of him running. You guys just had to see it. I'm not going to belabor it or anything, but he didn't know what to do. So we have a snake catcher, a snake hook, and it's kind of a long pole. And he thought, like the sheep herder. Sorry. He's running around the yard with this long pole, chasing the goats. Okay, I'll let it go. It was just hilarious. Okay. Thursday, the electricity went out Thursday night at 9:30 p.m. and did not come back on until 2 a.m. Our provider keeps doing this, and they're having these long periods of shut off, and they say it's because of fire danger, but it was a cold, wet week, so I'm not quite for sure what they were doing. Okay, are you ready to flip the page? Oh, this is going to be so hard for me. Let me have a little bit of my coffee. Okay, deep breath. Here we are. Carryover week. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, let me just say right out of the gate what I don't like. I don't like any of it. I don't like this. I don't like the stickers. I don't like, I don't like it. It's like nails on a chalkboard to me. But there are a couple of things that I do like. I made some notes that I like. Number one, more of this, less of this. More challenging my belief system, less of my limiting beliefs. Just in case you haven't seen one of my videos before, I have tended to live what I see as, I feel I've achieved my professional I've achieved my professional goals in my life. In the field that I'm in, I'm at the top of the field that I'm in, and I haven't achieved my dreams. They're different. One was a professional trajectory that I started on, and another one, there's this beneath the surface quiet dreaming that takes place with me. And a lot of reasons why through my life I haven't just gone for those things is because of limiting beliefs. And sometimes they were very true, these limiting beliefs, such as if you watch my budget, kind of my budget trauma timeline, you'll know that there were times in my life where I was a single parent and having an extra dollar, so doing things when you're that broke, doing things like, I want to pursue this job, or it's just not feasible. You take what you have and you apply yourself really hard to, keep food on the table for your kid. Anyway, I'm trying to dream bigger. I'm trying to really see, like, what would my next chapter look like? And I'm just trying to work through old held limiting beliefs. Self-kindness, more self-kindness, less of perceived mistakes. Again, I'm a recovering perfectionist, so perceived mistakes is pretty big for me, and I haven't yet learned how to be kind to myself during that. And generally, this always manifests itself with food for me historically. Like, I would feel bad about myself, and instead of just being kind to myself, I would sabotage, do things like eat foods that made me feel even worse, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Recognize strengths. I'm trying to do this each week, and less of weaknesses. Taking manageable steps instead of overwhelming goals. I think that my Happy Planner does a good job at keeping me balanced there. Working more on developing really good, meaningful relationships and less of isolation. When I'm stressed, I tend to isolate. I tend to do a lot of solo things, and that's just kind of like a power save mode for me that helps me move through whatever I'm experiencing. And I want to learn how to reach out to people during times like that. Having a growth mindset instead of this fear of failure is too risky. And that's kind of what's limiting my beliefs, is failure would be too risky in this arena. You have to have a tolerance for risk. I'm trying to build that up. So I really liked that I went through that. And this was some 2025 work I was doing, by the way, just kind of like, what do I want? If I think of my goals, where I want to be here, I want to be here. Brainstorming my word of the year was here. I was writing down some words that would be good for me, and I landed on purpose. That's going to be my 2025 word of the year. I was doing a little check-in wheel as to where I am. You can see my stress is off the chart. Self-care, I'm doing better in, but still not where I want to be. Home care, pretty good. Budget is pretty good. My relationships and my focus, I want more. My nutrition was poor, and my hydration when I was doing this was still poor. So, yeah, I think throughout 2025, I'll do these little check-in wheels every now and then. They won't be as horribly drawn out as this one is. And yeah, I liked doing this. I got some new sticky dots in. I was just testing them out. Over here, the carryover week, you can see, guys, I put no effort into this. I was just writing down some stuff just as a memory thing. Friday, I did have a little bit of a shorter work day. Had a pretty rough meeting on Friday, and poor hubby tried to make us dinner, and that was a fail again. It was a cold noodle dinner. And it had been a chilly day, and having cold noodles no, it just didn't work for any of us. We ended up throwing them back in the pan and heating them up. Saturday, I had a nail appointment with my mom. We ran some errands, hubby and I. I did my big monthly Amazon order. I'm trying to consolidate Amazon. Let's see. Oh, we had somebody, a woman from social media. She dropped off some pumpkins for our girls. She was doing a pumpkin haul for all of the nonprofits that take care of animals, and so she brought over some. My husband was sick yesterday. Let me pause so I can blow my nose. I'll be right back. For those of you that hang in there with my crazy videos, I'm sure everybody can see I don't edit my videos, just put them out as is. So thank you for that, allowing me to pause to do things like blow my nose and say cheers and have some coffee. Okay, on Sunday, my husband was sick. He had put some green protein powder in his morning juice, and just like a couple hours, he started to feel really sick. And so he said, it's not like fever sick or anything, but just real like I'm gonna throw up, which my husband never throws up, just to let you know. And I'm all, what did you eat? And so he said, well, I had my juice, and he had some oatmeal. And I'm all, oh, juice. I'm all, what kind of juice did you have? And so he said, well, I had this juice, and then I put some protein powder in it. I looked at the protein powder. It expired in June of 2023. I'm sure it was rancid. Poor guy was sick, and then he had to go to the hospital. Him and his siblings are taking turns spending the night at the hospital with their mom. She's been in the hospital, I shared in last week's video, for a week now. And He and his siblings are just amazing. They don't allow her to be alone. So they've been on shifts for the past week, making sure somebody's always with her. His mom is 100 years old and lives with dementia, but they're just very dedicated to her care. So it was his turn to go to the hospital to spend the night. He did start to feel better. I did throw away the powder. To know my husband is to know he will save every little food morsel, he does not like food waste. Neither do I, but not to the extent that he'll go. And he'll eat things even if they're old and expired. So yeah, sometimes I have to, when he's not home, take advantage and go through his little snack cubby and throw out things that are expired. Anyway, he did start to feel better, but because he wasn't feeling great up until the time he left for the hospital, we had a pretty lazy day together, watched a movie, and that was so nice. We never do that, and it was just really nice. After he left for the hospital, I had my big reset routine where I got everything ready for the next day. That's the week in review. I'm so glad to say, and let that week be gone. Let me not look at it again. In fact, let me not look at it again to the point where I paperclip it and it never mistakenly comes up again. So I have some work to do for this week. I have to, find my word for the week. I have to do my strength for the week, and we'll start on all of this. So, yeah, I'll get going for the rest of the morning working on this, and then I'll start into work. So, oh, by the way, let me show you my November calendar. Look, no work, vacation day. Isn't that exciting? I'm so excited for this. I'm going to pick up my daughter here, and she's going to stay to here for that whole 3 days, and that will just be lovely. And then the only other thing I can show you before I leave, if you're interested, is the 2025 planning. Yay! So I continue as something comes up for me to come back to this planning dashboard and look at how I'm going to set up my 2025 happy planner. I've settled in on my focus word, and I've kind of wrote down some reasons why. If I have purpose, what's that going to improve? Like, why did I choose purpose? What does purpose bring into my life? And wrote down some things of when we have purpose, what we will experience. Focus and direction, increase motivation and resilience, better mental and physical health, improve relationships, greater life satisfaction, and positive impact on others. So moving with purpose has a lot of benefits. So that's going to be my 2025 word of the year. And then I have a little saying that I also want to move into 2025 with, and that is little by little, a little becomes a lot. Love notes, that's my small hobby business, writing down some things. I've made space for a lot of ideas, but just know when I do move into 2025, I'm going to move in with focus. So I'm going to just find the most meaningful ones and move forward with those. Financial goals, starting to brainstorm those. Over here is a little dashboard of a thing I want to do, and that is 25 things. I want to do them 25 times in 2025. So I'm starting to list some things that I would want to do 25 times in 2025. And again, I'm just listing them as they come up for me, and then I'm going to focus, cut off the ones that are not as meaningful as the others and focus in on 25. I'm starting to brainstorm some home care goals, things I would like to do in the house, and just brainstorm some just general goals. And then I also created a page for dedicated pages I know I want to set up in my 2025 Happy Planner. So I don't think I've shared them before. Always at the beginning of my Happy Planner, I have like my weight loss page. That's one of the dedicated pages. I have some tracking pages at the beginning of my Happy Planner. I don't think I've ever put them here because when I did it, I backed them right up into a lot of personal information like passwords and things like that. So I just never go there in my planner. But yeah, I'm going to do 2025 differently so I can start sharing this stuff with you. So yeah, those are dedicated pages. And then one of my dedicated dedicated pages is I want to have an Amazon buy list because Amazon continues to be my nemesis. I think I shared in my budgeting video that we live a little bit remotely and we rely heavily on Amazon for things. But what happens is I'm not prepared. So I just do this, just constant getting in boxes, constant unwrapping. And I want to start cluster buying. So like do one order a month and get all the essentials. So these are things, you can see a lot of the things that we use for the animals, a lot of the things that I use for my own personal care that I can't find locally, some specific things for the kitchen, and then of course some stationery supplies. Yeah, that's it. Let me just close this baby up. She is a big girl. Well, it's a new work week. And as I said, November is going to be a great month because that last week of the month, I have a very light work week. So yay, I'm going to look forward to that. And outside of that, I am feeling good. I'm feeling positive. I know, going to have another intense work week, but that's okay. I'm going to move through this. And I thankfully just know I really enjoy what I do. And I work with the most amazing people ever. So I feel really blessed, even though my days are long. Very, very blessed to have the job that I do. Okay, well, I hope that you are well. I hope you had a great weekend. And until the next time, please be blessed.